Mr. Doty has provided leadership through multiple accreditation initiatives for the Minneapolis campus. In August of 2011, Larry Doty was promoted to Senior System Undergraduate Dean for Herzing University. While he still maintains the daily academic responsibilities and operations at the Minneapolis campus, he also conducts training and compliance sessions for the deans throughout the United States and Canada who are working in the Herzing system. Prior to becoming an administrator, Mr. Doty served in the capacities of faculty and student services in higher education. Larry graduated with his master's degree in education administration from St. Mary's University of Minnesota and a Bachelor of Science degree in social studies education from Northwestern College in St. Paul, Minnesota. He's currently completing his doctoral studies in interdisciplinary leadership at Creighton University. In his downtime, he enjoys spending time with his wife, son, and their 3 puppies, Rudy, Rock, and Lou, all named after Notre Dame football players and coaches. Give an MMI welcome to Mr. Larry Doty. I had to give you one.
Thank you. I was telling some of the faculty down here that I don't think it's fair that I get to follow up all those great speeches. So I'll do my best, but all of your words were very inspiring. So I thank you for that as well. Graduates, I want to congratulate you. What you have achieved is a major accomplishment, and many of you have family and friends here today that have helped you along the way. They've helped you through the tough nights where maybe you wanted to give up. They've helped you stay the course. So for those in that position, that makes this even more important because you've had greater impact. Some of you have actually defied odds of people. You may not have had the people in your life to support you or encourage you. You may have had the opposite. And for that, I congratulate you because you've demonstrated persistence that is just inspiring. You've stayed the course. So congratulations on that. My hope today is to share with you 2 perspectives. 1, the current reality in which we're sitting now where you're graduating, and 2, a future reality where you have some choices as you leave here. And so I hope that if anything happens from our time today while I'm talking, it's that there's one thing you can take away that will hopefully give you an edge or privilege, as Dugan spoke to, and make you the best that you can possibly be. So let's talk about the current reality. Right now, our country is in a crisis of confidence. And when I say a crisis of confidence, I don't mean that necessarily we don't have confidence. You see, statistics tell us that as math and science testing has gone along and the U.S. has continued to fall in these categories year after year, there is one area that we consistently rank #1 in worldwide. That is in confidence. So it's a little perplexing. The global economy has created greater demand for you. There are many of you that know if you're in game art and animation, you may be given the opportunity to do a job where you're not in the particular town. You're working from your home. And likewise with recording. You can do it from your home now with technology. So therefore, it isn't just the market here in Minnesota or California or wherever you may be. You're competing with graduates worldwide, and that makes it challenging. You live in a country that says it's illegal to discriminate. However, every interview you go into, you will be discriminated against. Statistics say that within 2 minutes of your interview, the person interviewing you will know if they're going to proceed to the next round. Within 2 minutes. The good news is that creativity is a skill that is in high demand. But it's not just creativity that you think of when you're in the studio. It's not just creativity you think of when you're in the lab or working on your computer. The good news is that you have a skill set that you can magnify, because the normal jobs that Dugan referred to, that your parents ask, aren't you going to get a normal job? All the people in those normal jobs are looking for people like you who have creative thinking skills, to not just make creative things, but to solve problems. So what I can promise you is that the job you end up having is not necessarily the job you think you're going to have right now. And the more open you are to that, the greater opportunity you're going to have to be successful in life and to be happy and to follow all the cliches that were just shared. So, according to Malcolm Gladwell, in a book that he just released here called David and Goliath, it's basically the art of underdogs taking on the giants in society. According to Malcolm, he basically says that people who deploy unconventional strategies to solve problems increase their chance of success by nearly 40%. See, that's where you have an opportunity being a creative thinking person. You can think outside the box. You can help people in the normal, everyday jobs solve problems. And if you're good at it, you will make great income if you can do that. So I encourage you to think about that. The challenge with that is being able to assess truly and honestly what your strengths and weaknesses are. You see, when you look around, people like to take commonalities, things that are the same. For example, customer service. You see a lot of businesses, if you ask them what their strength is, they say, customer service. That's our strength. I have yet to see a business that has opened their doors and said, we hope that our customers have a bad experience. So again, that's a commonality. The true challenge is for you to look at yourself and say, what am I good at? And what am I good at that's different from other people? How do I differentiate myself? In music, it may be an instrument. You may become the best at that thing. And that's what's going to separate you from others. So I encourage you to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself when you assess for what you're good at and what you might not be good at it. Because you're going to save a lot of time. If you spend your career trying to do something that maybe you're qualified for, but you're really not good at, you're probably not going to be too happy. It's going to be a challenge to do that job. And you'll feel like you're just paying the bills. So I encourage you to think about that as you're moving forward. So let's talk a little bit about the future reality. Graduates, I need you to look to your right and look to your left, if you could. You see other graduates next to you. These may be people that you care for, you've developed relationships with. You hear the stories about how you guys sat through Mr. Yeager's class and you enjoyed spending time together and helping each other out. Let me tell you who that person next to you is now. They're a competitor. Or they will be a colleague. So what's the difference between a competitor or a colleague? It really depends on who gets the better job. If I have a better job than you, then I'm very comfortable in saying you're my colleague. If you have a better job than me, then you're my competitor because I want your job. So I encourage you to do your best to have lots of colleagues as you move forward. There'll always be competition, but have lots of colleagues. Set yourself apart and go for what you want. So how do you put yourself in the best position to achieve your career goals? You need to remember everything from the classes you didn't want to take. Yes, your general education classes. I know. I didn't hear one of the student speakers talk about, man, I loved English. Oh, I couldn't wait when they assigned that paper to get home and just type it all out. Or sociology was amazing. But what I am telling you is that your career success is going to depend largely on your likability, on how well you communicate with others, on learning people. Okay? Learning people. Your diploma signifies your achievement in coursework. What your diploma says is that all the cool things you did in your rec courses or your gaming courses, you know. You have the knowledge base. Now, your general education courses are the ones that are going to hopefully take that knowledge and help you be able to communicate with people in a manner where they want to hire you over everyone else in this world. Have integrity when you think of other people. It's a lacking skill, okay? What it means to have integrity, it means that you are committed to delivering on what you say you're going to do. Be a person that people come to because you deliver. You follow through. That's what integrity is. And it doesn't mean that things don't always mess or don't seem to mess up at times. What it means is that when those things do skip a step or something's prolonged, you take the time to go tell the person, hey, I'm sorry, this is taking a little bit longer, we're still on track. That is a skill that is lacking. Be a person of integrity. Understand that being hip and cool And caring about what your friends think, that's not going to pay your bills. It's not, at the end of the day. That's up to you. So you can be concerned with what others think, or you can be concerned at being the best. Ask yourself where you're going to focus your energy. Know that every day you have the opportunity to benefit someone in a positive manner just by simply interacting with them. Do you make people smile? Do you make them smile? A simple smile can do that. I'll tell you, I'm the worst at it. I'm not a big people person. My wife will attest that when we pull in the driveway and my neighbor comes over and goes, "Hey, Larry," I run. I'm like in the house, lock the door, pull the blinds, no one's home. Right? I know, I forget the fact that he just saw me get out of the car. But it truly is a skill set that can change your career and your success. You have to understand that almost all of our decisions are made by feelings. So when it's the way we feel, we call that gut instinct or intuition, right? Everyone else has that. So what are you doing to make people feel good? If you can make them smile, they're going to want to be around you. You're going to make them happy. So ask yourself how you do that, and avoid being a predictor of failure. See, all of us are insecure for different things in our life. So it's really easy for us to say, "Oh, told you so." Or, "Hey, I bet James Davis isn't going to be able to do that. Boy, I don't know what he's smoking." All I'm saying is that it's much easier to predict someone else's failure than it is to say, "Why not?" Or, heck yeah, you know what? Change the world. Do it. Do it. I'm not out anything if you fail. My life's not changed. Think about it. If you can be a person who inspires others, they're going to want to give you their business. They're going to want to be around you. They're going to want to refer you to other people. It's contagious. Understand that the people at the bottom will someday be at the top. And you want to ask yourself, how will they remember you? In 1971, Jim Skinner was a restaurant manager trainee for a restaurant named McDonald's. In 2004, he was appointed CEO. In 1985, Brian Dunn started as a sales associate in one of only 12 Best Buys at the time. In 2009, he was appointed CEO. Brian Billick is an NFL broadcaster. He had his job after he won the Super Bowl as a coach. A lot of people don't know that he started out delivering coffee to all the executives at the NFL office. That's what he did. Understand that this world is about people, and it's about how you're perceived. So with that, I want to encourage you to be a passion-driven person. Be a passion-driven person. I love Bruce Springsteen. And I'll tell you, I didn't always love Bruce Springsteen, but I went to one Bruce Springsteen concert, and I became an ultimate fan. Because for 3 hours, I felt like I was watching someone stand on a stage and do what they were born to do. He was so passionate, but you just thought, wow, that guy is doing what he was meant to do. And it was contagious. Now, if he's coming to town, I want tickets. I want to be involved in that. One of my first experiences at MMI, I was being introduced to Mr. Paul Peterson, the gentleman who just introduced me. You can stand up now if you want. We joked earlier, I told him I had a story about him. Well, as many of you know, Paul's a musician, but I can honestly say that I am not an avid funk musician fan. I don't have a lot of it on my iPhone. I don't have a lot of CDs. I actually have one. I have one from a band called F Deluxe, which is Paul's band. But let me tell you why I have that CD and why I truly, truly appreciate my friendship with Paul. I was going to be introduced to Paul, and this was back, I believe, it's called Tucker Hall now, but it was Studio B at the time. Studio B. And I walked in through these huge doors, and I saw this guy he was putting the final touches on just this heavy funk song. And he was just into it. I mean, he was moving back and forth, and I just sat there and I watched. And you know what? I didn't care about what the music sounded like anymore. I wanted to get to know this guy. Because I could see it didn't matter what he was doing. He was just so passionate about it. That was contagious to me. I didn't care that we were in different fields. I didn't care about his resume. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to know him because it felt better being around him. He was passionate. Be a passionate person. Find your passion and understand that to be the best, it means you're going to fail. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 6 times before he was successful. Macy's filed bankruptcy 7 times before finding success. Dr. Seuss wrote 23 books before he was published. The Wright brothers failed 47 times before the first flight. And Thomas Edison attempted 903 times before the first light bulb was lit. Understand that to be the best, it takes sacrifice. And it isn't just sacrifice in the sense that you are giving everything to a cause. It's being passionate about it. You need to also understand that there are things you can't teach. Your faculty did a great job in teaching you recording and game and animation, but you can't teach things like heart. Last week I attended a funeral and I had the opportunity to talk with a coach that I hadn't seen in about 15 years. And this was the coach that was my coach, back before high school, and he was kind of my first experience ever to coach. And he pushed us, and he helped me learn what I could really take. I received one of the greatest compliments, I think, of my life when before he walked away, he touched me right here. And, he looked at my wife and he said, we never had any concerns about Larry. And the reason why is because of his heart. So I encourage you to know that people see heart. I encourage you to ask yourself, what does it mean for you to have passion and heart in what you do? The last thing I want to talk to you about is believing in your potential. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is trust or faith in a person or a thing. Arrogance is having a sense of overbearing self-worth. So arrogance is that person you don't want to be around. Arrogance is a person you don't want to hear talk about themselves again and again. Understand that trust is developed over time by your habits, by your work ethic. People will trust you if you have integrity and you deliver. People will trust you if you do what you say and you mean what you say. That will help you be a career professional. You've heard other people say it today, but I'll say it again. No one's going to hand you anything. Luck, good fortune, it comes to those who are in the trenches and giving everything they have to a cause. Your diploma recognizes that you can pass courses, maintain information, demonstrate knowledge. This is your ticket to prove yourself in the profession. Be humble. Practice humility. Start at the bottom. The most important people in an organization understand what happens at the bottom. They understand the intricacies. And I'll tell you that as a person who interviews a lot of people, the first person I ask for input when candidates come in and interview with me is my receptionist. And when she says that person was a jerk, their resume goes in the garbage can. If you don't believe in you, no one else is ever going to believe in you, and they're not going to give you their business. So find what you need to do to have that confidence. Know that your well-being and success is no one else's responsibility or care. Own you, take pride in you, and know that the impossible is only one person away from being reality. You can change the world. And I don't say that as a cliche. I say that as it only takes one thing that you're great at. Choose it and be great. Graduates, congratulations, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future. Thank you.